This can't be happening, man. This isn't happening.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Well, hello, boys and girls, on this February 12th, Super Sunday, as they say. I know Bud is glued to the TV right now with his Budweiser and chips, waiting to see Patrick Mahomes put on a show. So today I wanted to, during this flight, it's myself and Mrs. Air Wagner on board on 6 Whiskey Mike. But I got a little story to tell you about another plane. That plane is 310 Romeo.
Here's a picture of the Cessna 310 Romeo.
It's about an engine failure. And I'll go through it when I get set up in cruise here, so you can look forward to kind of a double feature today. You're going to get a VFR flight and a story, and I'll update you on 513 Sierra Juliet and what's happening there. Okay, all important checklist complete. Mrs. Air Wagner wants to fly over the lake, so we'll do that first. I'm in traffic Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, taking runway 7, departing the area to the south. Over. Time check, transponder check, traffic check, DG double check on the
24261, about 6 miles to the south on an extended 45 left traffic, 25 at 2,500, Auburn. Auburn, traffic out 679 Mike Foxtrot, taxi to the run up runway 25, Auburn.
I'm in traffic Golden Eagle on the roll, on runway 7, departing the area to the south, Auburn. All right, airspeed alive. Tap the brakes, pull the gear up, pitch for blue line. I'm traffic Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, making a right crosswind off of runway 7, departing the area to the south. In front of us, you can see the Forest Hill Bridge. It's famous for not good reasons. All right, fuel pumps off one at a time, 1 alligator, 2 alligator. Okay, we're over the North Fork of the American River, which is one of the 3 forks that feed into Folsom. They're dumping the lake like crazy, Mrs. Air Wagner says. Now I'm looking, you can look out the front window, you can see the gleaming of the lake, and to me, from here, it looks higher than it has been. I'm not saying, like Mrs. Wagner says, that I'm a has-been. It's the lake has been, okay? So there is, you know what, that river is quite wide. Look at that, Nancy, how wide the river is. Well, there's a right wing tip. Yeah, it still looks pretty low. Got a ways to go. So this plane had some recent work done. My last flight, the prop governor wasn't going into feather on one side, and had to swap out prop governors. We didn't swap out price governors. Of course, the shop here in town, Full Throttle Aviation, did it. And we're back airworthy. We're down for a couple days. So the beautiful lake in front of us, gleaming. If you wanted to go out boating, I think Super Bowl Sunday is probably a good day to do it. So there's not a whole lot to see here. What do you say we
down a little further?
Go down a little further, as Mrs. Air Wagner says. Normally, I'm going to scoot over a little bit here. Normally, this peninsula doesn't stick out when the lake is a little fuller. And you can also see the bathtub line of debris. I know you can't see it from there, but it looks like wood.
It's pretty low.
It's pretty low, she says.
A lot of people out there. Just
a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
But it's pretty low. You can see a debris line on the lake. And if you look at the graph, it goes up and down from the state because they're...
Oh my gosh, look at all the junk.
Yeah, you can see the junk. Let's see, can you see the junk?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, a lot of junk there. Yeah, that's where the high water mark was before they are dumping it. So what we're going to do is we're going to redirect to Oakland, which is a heading of 207. We're almost on it. Turn the autopilot on and the nav on, and we're going to put the nav onto it. 07, and continue to climb. And let's call NorCal, and then I'll give you the 310 Romeo story. All right, so I've been putting the heading bug along with the nav here. Let's see.
6 Whiskey Mike, squawk 4227.
4227, 6 Whiskey Mike.
Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, radar contact 6 miles northeast of Mesa, verify leaving 2100.
6 Whiskey Mike, give me a local altimeter setting, please.
Altimeter 29990.
Leaving 2300, 6 Whiskey Mike. All right, let me give you the 310 Romeo story. So here's a picture of Romeo, as we affectionately call it.
I'm dead sexy.
Ooh.
And the plane is in Mach 5 as part of the rental for Mach 5 here in Auburn. Dan's the owner. Had new engines put on less than 2 years ago, a few hundred hours ago. And Dan called me and said, I'm not current for IFR. Can you be a safety pilot and ride with me Saturday? This is 2 Saturdays ago. Can you ride safety pilot? Sure, no problem. So we get Romeo, beautiful plane. It's got 530 like this, and it's got 2 G5s, and it's a nice plane. And I got the wide angle here so I can kind of tell you what went down.
Are they new engines or rebuilds?
They're rebuilds. They're rebuilds. So we're 3,000, so we're clear of Mather now. So as we're flying, I'm thinking to myself how really nice and smooth and powerful these engines are, because, you know, they're new, and my plane, you know, I got one busted. I got a busted engine, you know, still in Medford, which I'll get to later. So we go over, if anyone knows Northern California, we go nearby up to Placerville, Hangtown, and we do 2 approaches there. We go to a busy Lincoln Airport, and we do 2 approaches there. And our second approach at Placerville was a high-speed approach. And so we did an approach at Auburn with a miss. All of this, you know, talking to NorCal. We're on the mist. We're heading back to Auburn. And Dan, of course, is in left seat. I'm the safety pilot in the right seat. And smooth as silk, all of a sudden, kablooey! That's how I describe it. Engine starts, you know, one of the engines starts running super rough. Okay, and at this time, we're already on the approach. Dan's got the gear down. I immediately look to the engine gauges, which are right about here, and I see that it's the left engine that's giving it up. And so, you know, Dan, you know, is looking around. I said, okay, let's do some quick troubleshooting. All right, turn the mags off, one at a time. Left one, no change. Right one, no change. All right, let's try the fuel. No change. Enriching, richer. We look over to the left engine. Holy mackerel. There is oil and smoke pouring out of it. Starting at the front, which, you know, you thought maybe it's a prop seal. Prop seal wouldn't cause a rough engine. And so I said, okay, we got to feather it. And so I said, okay, feather the left engine, and I'm sitting on the right seat. I'm watching Dan. He's doing great. I'm watching him, and boom, feathers the left engine. All right, now here's a picture of the plane on the ground with the with the engine feathered. Okay, fine. We're good. So here's a picture of the plane with the engine feathered.
This reduces the wind resistance, not a sight you want to see in flight.
Okay, we got that. So then, turn off the mags, and I'm watching him like a hawk. He's turning off left mag, left engine, right mag. Boom, boom. Turn the battery off, ran the mixture to cut off. Okay, and so we were, coming in on final. We're probably only we're outside of the final approach fix. I think we're like lucky 7 out. We have been canceled from NorCal, or terminated from NorCal. And so I said, look, you got plenty of power. We got altitude. Don't change anything. Don't put the gear up. Let's just fly it. Let's just fly the plane to a safe landing. So we announced. We didn't declare an emergency. We announced. I was doing the radios that day. So I announced they were coming in on one engine, and it's not a simulation. And there was one guy ready to go, and another guy taxiing.
6 Whiskey Mike, contact approach 125.25.
2525 for 6 Whiskey Mike. Thanks, and so long. All right, be right back to you. Let me check on.
64.
NorCal, good afternoon. Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike. Checking on level 4,500.
Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, NorCal approach, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay, so, we're coming in. We got a lot of power in, and we got it made. We got the runway made. It was VFR conditions. There were some clouds out, but we were VFR at that point, and we were cleared for a practice approach. And so Dan just landed to an uneventful landing.
Number 491 Whiskey Sierra, maintain at or above 3,000.
So, as usual, we want to know what happened. And so I took a few pictures. The pictures you're about to see
contact approach 127.4
are going to show
749er Sierra.
A hole in the engine big enough to put a Super Bowl Sunday football through. Here are the pictures.
So the first thing you see is metal shrapnel all inside the engine compartment. Then you see a hole there on the number 5 piston where the connecting rod came flying through. Here's a little more close-up hole. Nice aerated hole there with the bolts showing through on the cylinders. And then here's the piston, which happens to be missing a connecting rod. And oh yeah, there was a fire also, because I think that the friction started the fire in front. And here's a look at it with the cowling off. Just waiting for a new engine now.
There's metal everywhere. It looked like Chernobyl when Chernobyl blew up. And one of the pieces of metal looked like a beer can that somebody stepped on. You could see the piston rings, but it was heavier, like it got compressed. It's odd. So the piston got scrunched. There was sticking out a connecting rod. That connecting rod is supposed to be straight. It was 90 degrees and broken.
Here's the connecting rod. Imagine the force it took to bend it into that shape.
And shrapnel everywhere. And there was a burn in front of the cowling. And I think the burn might have came from the friction from the backing plate hitting the bowl of the cowl. That's what I think. That's what I think it was. And so the engine was built in Southern California 300 hours ago, and it's 22 months with a 24-month warranty. Yay, Dan, you got a warranty there. So needless to say, it's going to be down for a while. So and Dan did good. I'm trying, we debriefed it later, and we talked about what we would do differently. And everything we did right. The only thing I would have done differently, but you were on final, and so it's like, okay, you're going to land anyway.
140, descend and maintain 2000.
The only thing I would have done differently was go down and turn the fuel off at the fuel selector. We did the fuel cutoff here on the quadrant, and that's pretty much the only thing. We left the gear down because we had the airport made. We left the flaps down until we had the airport made. But, you know, I say this a lot.
1806 traffic to follow. 10 coming up on 9.
This is why I buy a Twin Cessna. It's got power because his engines are IOMs. I think 470s might have been the standard. So this is an upgrade. And he commented on how nice the plane flew on one engine. And the only thing I had to warn him on, and he did fine with it, was that you're under power. You got the dead foot, dead engine, rudder in. Once you reduce power to land, it's going to kick around, to that. It's going to reconfigure. So you have to account for that. And so that's it. So that's the story. And I'm happy. I was right seat. I didn't do anything. I didn't touch the controls. It's the first time I was in that plane. All right. But I'm happy that I was with Dan. He's the owner of the plane, and I have a little bit of experience in the field of engines failing, and that we were able to get down with no problem. I'm happy that he was in the plane as an owner. I'm happy that it wasn't out for a rental with somebody else, maybe with their family, who might not be as current and proficient. It might be in weather. They might be in, Pig's Knuckle, Arkansas or something. They could have been off field. And so it's back, it's at its home field and all of that. So, I flew 3318 Quebec. Here's a picture of it.
Love that plane. Happy to see it still here on the Auburn Airport.
For 23 years. No engine, never had an engine fail. Never left me stranded anywhere. No problems, really. And I ran those engines to TBO. And I think I ran them 10% over TBO. They were factory remans when I got them.
Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, contact Travis approach 119.9er. We'll see you.
Okay, 19.9, we'll see you. 6 Whiskey Mike. Thanks, Ensign. Travis, good afternoon. Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, checking on level 4,500.
Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, Travis approach, altimeter 2990. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So 23 years in my 320, turbocharged Twin Cessna. Never had an issue. Never had an issue. Now, in the last 3 years, I've had 3 engine failures on 3 different planes. And so I'm starting...
November 902 Whiskey, contact NorCal approach 1.
I'm starting to get a complex, needless to say. So, I don't know, those of you that want to fly with me, if it's a good idea to fly or not. I don't know. The Mrs. Air Wagner doesn't seem to mind. So, a segue into my plane in Medford with the engine being repaired. It's not being repaired. I had to buy that auction plane and take 2 engines that had prop strikes back to Kansas.
481 traffic.
So everything mic'd out in the shop. They sent the parts out for prop inspection, which is Magnaflux, and it has to be required for prop strike inspection. And waiting for those to come back so that I can get my bird back in the air. But you know what? This beautiful 421B 6 Whiskey Mike is flying well. I don't want to jinx this one either. So that's my story. And where are we now? We're just about to cross over the Shiloh Wind Farms. We're talking to Travis. So let's get Oakland's weather now. 3377. It's hard flying into this sun.
481 has traffic type.
Cap 481.
See what Oakland's reporting. Be loud, Nancy's gonna jump.
15, 2.8, altimeter cruise 994, IL 5, 3 fuel, wind 230 and 4, visibility 10, sky clear below 12 clouds, temperature 15, 2.8, altimeter cruise 994, ILS.
Alright, information Charlie. I heard the whole thing. I don't want to bore you with all that static.
Cap 481 traffic, 12 o'clock, 10 miles, opposite direction. It's a Cessna 421, 4,500.
Whiskey Cap 481.
November 6 Whiskey Mike traffic, 12 o'clock, 9 miles, opposite direction. Cessna 182, 3,500.
6 Whiskey Mike, looking for the traffic. Alright, he's 12 o'clock, 9 miles away. You can't see him. Okay, so here's how you know that map you thought you had in school you weren't going to use. So we're going 190. We're going 3 miles a minute. Let's see going 5 miles a minute. That's a closing rate of 2 miles, 5 miles a minute. That means that he'll be on me in a minute and 3/4. So even though you think he's 9 miles away, a closing rate's pretty fast. He just came on the traffic screen, and so I'm looking for him below us. And 6 Whiskey Mike still looking for the traffic. We're going to stay at 4,500 until he gets past us.
November 6 Whiskey Mike, roger. Traffic 12 o'clock, 3 miles northwest eastbound is at 3,500 Skyline.
Looking for the traffic, 6 Whiskey Mike. All right, so we told him that we're not going to descend until he goes by, because he's like a straight on. And I haven't edited any of this video since he called traffic, just to show you how fast he comes on. He's coming on. He's offset a little bit to the right. Looking.
Cessna 194 Sierra Papa, checking in at 3,000, going for 3,500.
November 194 Sierra Papa, Travis approach, Travis altimeter 2990.
2990 for Sierra Papa.
And 6 Whiskey Mike, he must have had the cloaking device engaged. We never saw him go by.
November 6 Whiskey Mike, can you say that again?
I said 6 Whiskey Mike never saw the traffic go by. He must have had the cloaking device engaged.
November 6 Whiskey Mike, traffic no factor, contact NorCal approach 127.0.
27-0, 6 Whiskey Mike. Clearly not a Star Trek fan. NorCal, good afternoon. Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, checking on, descending out of 3,600 Oakland with Charlie.
Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, NorCal approach, good afternoon, enter right base for runway 28 at Oakland, the altimeter is 2994.
2994 will set up for the right base for 28, 6 Whiskey Mike.
November 6 Whiskey Mike, thanks. You're going to be following, actually might even overtake him by the time you get there, but it's 12 o'clock in about 7 miles, also inbound for Oakland. It's a M7 out of 4,000.
We'll be looking for the traffic. What's an M7?
Yeah, I'm curious myself, sir. Maybe a mall. Let me look it up, see what we can find out.
What's his speed? That'll tell you.
120 knots across the ground.
That's no slouch. I still want to pass him. So, are my engine failure days behind me? Or are they going to follow me? Have I got a lifetime's full? I don't know.
I'm showing the M7, a rocket or a comet. Kind of looks like it's just a high wing Hershey bar.
Okay, sounds good. He could probably land on a sandbar.
Yeah, it is a mall aircraft.
Okay, thanks. 6 Whiskey Mike, we're still looking for the traffic. I like those ones, they get the big giant wheels on them and they land on a sandbar. They kind of skid on the water to slow down. Don't do that in a twin. I don't care how many engines you got.
November 6 Whiskey Mike, turn 20 degrees left for traffic in sequence.
20 degrees left for traffic, 6 Whiskey Mike, and I had him, and now he's back into the sun. I lost sight of the traffic, 6 Whiskey Mike.
Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, no worries. The tower wanted you out to the south-southeast just a little bit for their sequencing anyway, but they're at your 1 o'clock now. I'm showing 2 miles, 3,100, still inbound for Oakland.
Okay, 6 Whiskey Mike, Roger. We're turning more to the south.
Roger, thanks. November 6 Whiskey Mike, contact Oakland Tower now on 118.3. They'll have some vectors back in there for you.
6 Whiskey Mike, thanks. Tower 18-3, talk to you next time.
It's foggy out there.
Take NorCal approach, 127.0.
Recorded approach. Oakland Tower, Mall 353, Lima Sierra, 2,900.
Tower, good afternoon. Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, checking on 2,300.
Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, Oakland Tower. You're following a commander that's turning about a 3-mile right base to final. Correction, you're following a commander that's on a 2-mile final. Continue on a right base to follow them. Runway 28 right, clear to land number 2.
Clear to land number 2, and we do have that mall that NorCal called at 1 o'clock inside. We'll plan on number 2, 6 Whiskey Mike.
Mike, roger. All 3 Lima Sierra, enter a right downwind.
Right.
Runway 28 right, you'll be number 3.
Papa Gups, pressurization,
Can I get 3,
check.
353 Lima
Prop
Sierra.
sync off,
Right
air conditioner off,
28 right.
auxiliary pumps on.
Traffic 1 mile east of your position.
That's on main.
A Golden Eagle is entering the right base. They are ahead of you.
Okay, I can join the right downwind for 28 right, but if I could get 33, that'd be preferable.
3 Lima Sierra, roger. I have your request.
Oakland Tower, Dinosaur, 22 Quebec Tango, ready for departure 33.
I'm Star 22 Quebec Tango, Oakland Tower, roger. Runway 33, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 33, Dinosaur, 22 Quebec Tango. And 07, we have the field in sight.
07, ready to service terminal, keep the code, contact Terra Term.
07, we're keeping the code and we'll go to Hayward, 07.
3 Lima Sierra, traffic, Dinosaur is departing runway 33 now. Join the right downwind for runway 28 right. Runway 28 right, cleared, low approach. Runway 33, cleared to land. You're following a Golden Eagle, turning a 2-mile final.
Right, turning downwind 28 right, low approach 28 right, full south 33, 317.
And 6 Whiskey Mike, am I number 1 now?
6 Whiskey Mike, affirmative.
6 Whiskey Mike, thanks. All right, we're number 1, but we're fast and we're high.
902 Whiskey, turn right at Golfer Hotel. You're
I got to pull up the nose.
Ready to golf, ground point 9.
My wife loves this maneuver. Pull up the nose to drop the gear and first notch of flaps. And all the flaps. There's our little aspect outside. Looks a little high.
Smoke.
Holy smoke, she says. We're not going to touch the props because it's not good for a 421 to put the props ahead. This will make it. All right, gas check undercarriage. We've got 3 greens. Mixture's up. Dropping like a brick. Up trim.
Star 2 Quebec Tango, radar contact, say altitude.
2 Quebec Tango is passing 600.
2 Quebec Tango, on course is approved.
On course approved, 2 Quebec Tango.
Another look at the 3 greens. The wife wants a smooth landing.
194 Sierra Papa, checking in at 3,700. 2,700, sir.
So it's 194 Sierra Papa, Oakland Tower, altimeter.
That's smooth enough for you, honey?
Very
VFR
good.
2,000.
Wow, haven't heard that voice for a while.
Version 6 Whiskey Mike, contact ground on point 9.
Point 9 for 6 Whiskey Mike, thanks, that's a lot. Good afternoon, Golden Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, cleared of the right for the porta-ports.
Eagle 6 Whiskey Mike, Oakland Tower. The Cessna there is going to pull up and hold short of 33, so give way to them and then taxi via Juliet Delta to the porta-ports. Is there not room for them to get by you?
If he gets to the line, it'll be fine for 6 Whiskey Mike, and I'll be taxiing to the porta-ports. It's actually a her, sorry, 6 Whiskey Mike. Or a guy with a ponytail, I don't know which. All right, how'd you like the flight, Mrs. Air Wagner?
Excellent.
Thanks for riding along.
I am the beginning, the end, the one who is many.